Hey everyone, it is the Mac and Murray College Football Show, week 2 preview style, as we're going to be taking you through the best games of the college football weekend. Another jam-packed weekend, a lot of action going on, a lot of top games, something we didn't get a week ago, some upsets and close games, but not a lot of like big ranked on ranked games. And we're going to get 2 of those right off the bat. We're breaking down Texas going to Georgia, first time between the hedges for the Longhorns. Oklahoma going to Alabama, Notre Dame, Pitt, Iowa, USC, Clemson, Louisville, and then Virginia, Duke, a major game in the ACC to finish this all up. So a lot of action this weekend, a lot of excitement. I'll be on the call for Baylor hosting Utah, which can be a great game. Very excited to cover Utah. My first time covering that team this year, number 13 in the country. And Emac, you will be where this weekend?
Going to the Steel City, baby. Game Day wanted to hitch their wagon to our big old truck, and they're following us, man. It's gonna be a good time. I'm excited. It's a huge matchup, and just to see how it shakes out, man, it's gonna be really interesting. You look at the Gold Domers, they're playing at a high level, but Pitt's getting everybody back, which I think is a huge deal. They had a couple All-Americans on that defense hurt. That those guys they're ready. They're biting at the bit, ready to get in there and make some things happen.
We'll talk about that game. But first off, I know it's been a little bit salty for the ACC at times. Are we at least happy Game Day's getting out of the SEC and going to the ACC?
Well, yes and no. Yes for the conference. I think it's big. But I'm kind of pissed off. Like, we're going there. They're going to steal all the fans. Nobody's going to come to our show. It's going to be like tumbleweed blowing in the background of our show.
Dang it, Emac.
I guess it's what it is. But no, it is really cool. It's really cool. And it's a great game. Now, there's some other opportunities. Maybe they would have went if they would have went other places earlier in the year. But it is cool, and I hope they give Pat McAfee hell, man. I mean, it's going to be fun. If you don't remember, Pittsburgh kept West Virginia out of the national championship back in the day. Pat missed a field goal, game-winning field goal. He missed it against Pittsburgh. So I'm sure they're going to light them up about that.
I love it. Bring the juice, bring the fire, ACC crowd. Let's go early and often, and make sure you go see if you're going to be there. Go stop by the ACC Huddle and
just come say hey. Just real quick. Hey. That's it.
Way more entertaining. All right. Let's dive into the games, and the big one this weekend, Texas on the road against the University of Georgia, the first time in between the hedges. It's crazy. 2 big brands. It is going to be electric there in Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. I wish I could be there. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to dive to a outsider here because I'm obviously have one half of this matchup with Georgia. Just your overall thoughts of Texas, Georgia, these 2 brands, SEC, and what may shake up in this football game.
Yeah, huge brand matchup. My goodness. I mean, you look at that first time ever. There's very rare that we have, first in college football and anymore. It's just been around for so long, but this is one of them. And you look at 2 massive brands, a Texas team that's ranked, that's, quote unquote, playing better. This will be a true litmus test of that. I think we really find out, is Texas playing better, or have they just played, horrific teams and be able to take advantage of that? I'm very interested, just to see this, because I think there are some very fun matchup, battle type things that I'm going to be paying attention to in this game. But I love the Dogs, man. Call me I don't know what, because I'm a Clemson guy. I'm supposed to hate them, but I love them. I love Kirby. I love his mentality. Just this team's fight, like they do not die. Now, there's things that piss me off about them that I think they should be better at, but I think the Dogs are for real, and I think they are like peaking a little bit right now in November. Nobody wants to hear or see that. Nobody wants to see that coming down the track. A Georgia team, that's fierce and that's figuring out who they are. This will also be that for them, I think. I think we find out after this game, is Texas for real? Even if they lose, is Texas getting better and for real? Or is UGA still a perennial power national championship type contender? Because if they can run this daggum football like I think they can on this great Texas defense, they can run it on anybody in the country.
I agree with that. I think for me, that we talked about this early on in the season, was the fact that Georgia's playing so well and offensively. You knew at some point the defense was going to get better. Will they turn into one of the best defenses in the country? I don't think we're going to maybe get to that category discussing that, but are they going to get better? This young defense that has Kirby Smart as its head coach and Glenn Schumann as their defensive coordinator, like they're going to get better. At some point, it's going to start clicking. They're going to be able to put pressure on the quarterback. They're going to start getting some more turnovers, and you're starting to see a defense gaining confidence as the year goes on. And this could be a huge confidence builder too. A defense that was a thorn in Texas' side a year ago. I mean, you look at Texas; they were rolling last year, feeling good. Quinn Ewers, that offense, that football team, one of the most talented teams in America. Then all of a sudden, Georgia rolls up into Austin, dominates them. They really can't get anything going at the quarterback position or on offense, whether it was Quinn Ewers or when Manning came in there as well. Then you fast forward to SEC Championship game, and it was the same thing. Texas could not figure out this Georgia defense. So they have a somewhat of a Georgia problem when it comes to their offense being able to execute. Can that go this year? I know different players, especially on Georgia, but like you said, they're kind of getting to the point right now where we're seeing progress, especially on the defensive side of the football. All eyes will be, and let's be honest here, we know this, all eyes will be on Arch Manning in this offense because and I put a little bit of a message out there on social media. To me, this is his biggest game. It wasn't Ohio State week 1 because guess what? Like, that's Ohio State week 1, his first true game as a starter on the road there. Like, that was going to be tough. It wasn't against Oklahoma because Oklahoma, I don't think, is very good, and we'll get to that game here after this one. I think this is a somewhat of an opportunity to silence a lot of the doubters that still don't believe in him, to go out there on the road and this is a must-win situation for Texas, E-Mac. Like, let's talk about that too. Like, you win, your playoff dreams are still alive. You lose, you have 3 losses, and you're gonna need a hell of a lot of help, and really probably not still even with that to get into the playoffs. Like, could this be Arch Manning's crown jewel game for his freshman year? Is he capable of doing it?
Right. Yeah. And I think, we'll see. The interesting part is this is not that Georgia defense that you just mentioned. This isn't those werewolves out there, first round draft pick monsters, all across the board. And so is he able to operate smoothly? Maybe. And we'll see. I think this is certainly the best competition that he's seen in weeks in regards to just personnel, stars on the field, highly ranked guys, things of that nature, how fast everything's going to move. Again, even though Georgia's having a down year defensively to their standard, they're still good and they still fly around and have athletes everywhere. So at the end of the day, you still have to execute. That struggling offensive line still has to do their part. That non-existent run game still has to do something. Those receivers still have to catch the ball. And, you look at, Texas last week and that first play opening up the game for 70 yards to the house. Like, is Georgia going to give that up? Probably not. I just that's my thing of, Arch has impressed and done better. A lot of his stuff's behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of his stuff is at the line of scrimmage. It's not still a ton pushing the ball downfield. And I have to think the team speed of Georgia, the technical tackling football that Georgia plays, even though, again, it's not their standard right now, is still going to be there and still be a problem. So I don't know if Arch will be able to muster that all up by himself. Now, if he runs the ball a lot, that'll be interesting. The great equalizer of a running quarterback, just having an extra hat there. So I am fascinated to see that. The other point, and I love your take on this. Texas has the number 1 rush defense in the SEC, but then I go and look who they played. They haven't seen anything close to this rushing attack that they're going to see, from the Dogs here. And so is that number a little fluffed in your mind where it's like, okay,
I
you're
mean,
number
maybe a
1,
little bit, but I
but
still think they're pretty dang good. Like, I would still put them as one of the top
sure.
in the
But when you
SEC.
think number 1, you're like, nobody's
Oh,
running on us.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's yards to be had.
I think Georgia can run the football, and I think the thing too with Texas is this is also a Georgia team that can throw the football. I mean, Gunnar Stockton, to me, we talk about Arch Manning progressing as a quarterback this year and gaining confidence. Gunnar Stockton is like number 5 right now. Betting odds are 6 when it comes to the Heisman. Like, he's having, you want to talk about like moments. Like, everyone has moments, Heisman moments. This is Gunnar's opportunity in prime time when everyone wants to watch Texas versus Georgia in this game. If he goes out there and plays the way that he's been playing this season, all of a sudden he may jump into like, oh no, he's going to go to New York. Good. And I think he's playing Heisman level football right now and deserves more attention than maybe he's getting. And I think this is his moment right now to go out there and throw the football, because I think for the average fan, they just think Texas and overall defense They don't think like, "Oh, it's just against the run they've been good." I think they just think like the brand of Texas has kind of been leaning on a struggling offense and a really good defense. So I think if he goes out there and has a ball game, that's going to accelerate the talk of how good Gunner is nationally. So I think he in this offense, you saw Noah Thomas start to gain some more confidence, taking over for Colby Young. Obviously, we know what one can do on the outside. The tight ends have been, been playing better as of late. This is an offense that can beat you in multiple ways. It's not just running the football, which they got a two-headed monster right now that's absolutely kicking butt, which is why overall, like, I lean Georgia in this game because I think no matter the type of game, whether it's a shootout or a low-scoring game, I just trust Georgia's offense more than I do Texas's. And I know Texas is getting a little bit better and a little bit better, but to your point, I think that what they try to do offensively with a lot of the quick game, a lot of the sideline to sideline passes is not going to fly against Georgia in Sanford Stadium.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
think Georgia's necessarily going to run away with this one just because I don't know if they're that type of team yet against another really good team. This isn't, Mississippi State from a week ago. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be four quarters. I just, in my heart of hearts, truly believe, taking off my Georgia hat, and I know I'm wearing a red sweatshirt right now, I just believe Georgia's the better football team, and they're at home.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm with you, and I think all that makes sense. I was gonna tell you to take it off, but I don't wanna, I don't wanna excite anybody, all
yeah.
right? Myself included. But if I'm Kirby and the boys, if I'm Bobo, I think I'm challenging it from jump, running the football. Like I'm saying, let's see what that defense has. Let's figure it out. And because I think there's some confidence that can really be had there if you do establish the run early. I mean, that was always my favorite thing when I was playing, man, when we would go against these monsters, Alabama, Auburn, you guys, Florida State. I want to go right at you play one. And in that first drive, and let's see. Let's have a litmus test right now of who's ready for this game. And man, you get 5, 6 yards a pop on that first drive, confidence
Oh, yeah.
flows like wildfire.
Well,
And
then those shots on the
it'll be
field open
interesting
up
to
right
see.
after that too, so
Why not? I'm always
let's
down
go.
for that.
I will say this, like, the flip it over the other side, wait, can Texas score? I went back and watched the game versus Oklahoma, and I was impressed. I mean, that Oklahoma is an elite defense. It's a really good defense. And I thought Arch in Texas did a good job of mixing up the quick game, moving the ball down the field. I thought he moved in the pocket really well. They able to get some sort of run game going with Wisner, had just under 100 yards rushing. So, like, it is in them to play good football against good quality defenses. So, we can say all we want, like, oh, they've taken advantage of not so great defense. Well, no, this does stretch back to the Oklahoma game and a rivalry game. To me, that was like the start of, hey guys, we do have something brewing offensively. So I
Agree.
don't think
Agree.
Georgia's just gonna like essentially shut this team out. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, honestly, Mac. I think this is going to be, I wouldn't say like a Tennessee Georgia type game, but I think it's gonna be, or even an Ole Miss Georgia game. I think it's both teams gonna be in the 30s, if not low 40s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're hammering the over. So the number there is 48.5.
Ooh.
I like that you love that. I mean,
I think
sure.
it's gonna be
Why
higher
not?
scoring. I do. I
Yeah.
think maybe not necessarily both teams in the 30s, but I could see Georgia winning it 31-27.
Ooh.
Somewhere
So
around
you're
there.
taking Texas to cover? Six and
Wanna
a
say
half's the
six
number.
6.5? I'll take Texas to cover. Yeah,
No way.
I'll take Texas to cover.
Georgia fans, why do you hate this
35-31.
guy? Get rid of this kid. Toss him to the
Georgia wins.
side.
Get off my back here. Come on. Georgia
Give me
wins.
the dogs. Give me the dogs to cover. I don't know about the over under. I think I might go under. I think it's going to be it could be a nasty little game.
How many nasty games has Georgia been involved this year?
Florida was a little gross. That was 44.5.
Yeah,
Auburn was gross.
true.
Maybe, but you're right. Tennessee exists and
Ole Miss
Mississippi
exists.
State, they did it themselves. They covered
Yeah,
themselves. With the over under. Ole Miss was a big game. So I don't know. It will be
we both like the
interesting.
dogs, though. We both like the dogs. All right, let's jump
Well,
into
some of us.
another.
You halfway life the dogs.
I
I
love
don't
the
trust
dogs.
that.
Love the dogs. Oklahoma on the road in T-Town against Alabama. You know, talk about two big brands, two monster brands in this one. And I'll just say it right now. We try to figure out, can Georgia score? Can Texas score against Georgia? I don't know how. No idea how, EMAC. Oklahoma is going to be able to muster up enough offense to make this game competitive. Not even like to score, like, to make it competitive. I think Alabama could roll in this one.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
So the number here is 6.5 too, and
I
you
would
think
take
Bama
Alabama.
big time,
Yes.
double digits.
Yes.
I said that last week and they did it. And now it didn't look anything like I thought. I mean, it was kind of ugly, but yet it was still dominant. I believe in that. I think so. I mean, I think Oklahoma's defense is better than LSU's and playing better. But
Are they
you know,
though? Are they though?
maybe you're right.
I mean,
Maybe
you look
not.
like
Maybe
I
not.
know we created this narrative early on, like Oklahoma's defense is so good, but then
Yeah,
Ole Miss put a bunch of yards and points on them,
34 on
And then
them,
Tennessee did the
27
same
by
thing.
Tennessee. I
And
know.
how many
No.
mistakes did Tennessee make offensively in that game that could have been more
Do
points?
we do we think I know Bama beat them. I don't know. You're right. I mean, those are two very explosive offenses. So is Alabama. And maybe that's just is what it is. And maybe it's stockpiling up, things that we've said similar all year. The defense feels like they have to do so much all year. And now they're just like, I'm tired, boss. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of carrying this team. And can John Mateer be the guy? I don't know. I
Dude,
think
he
it's
lost so much
a
confidence, I
tired
feel like.
team. I think so too. I think so too. I am concerned with Alabama's lack of run, though. I'm actually upset about it. It kind of makes me frustrated. Um, and I don't think they get it going against these guys, but you're going to need it eventually. And one day that passing attack ain't going to be working. And can you throw it? I don't know, because that's the same thing Ty Simpson's maybe feeling offensively, that he has to do it all. So we might just have a bunch of tired guys out there. I don't know, man. We'll see. But it is a great opportunity, I think, because of the perception of the Oklahoma defense and of Oklahoma, 12th in the country, that this could be Ty's Heisman moment. That's what's really fun about November. That this whole month, I'm looking for it. Like, who can separate? As individuals, as players for these awards, but also teams that can take this next step. And I mean, Alabama looks like a completely different team in these last, 2 months of the season. That first game, really, outside of that.
Oh my god.
It
Defensively, they're a brand new team. I mean,
Right,
since
right.
that game defensively, they haven't given up more than 24 points since that first game against FSU. Like, they have been I mean, they were it was literally it's so embarrassing to watch. I haven't seen Alabama, I mean, just not hustling, just jogging around, not tackling. I mean, they got punched in the mouth when they weren't ready, and then since then, they have been dominant. They really have. I mean, even to go into Athens, and we've seen how good Georgia's offense has been this year, and hold Georgia to 21 points in their home stadium. Like, this is a defense that has gotten better and better and better, and I feel like we always talk about Ty Simpson and the lack of the run game. The defense is like, "Hey, guys, like, we're really good over here. Like, we've been shutting teams down. Like, no one has really been able to put obviously more than 24 points against us this season." So, like, I have been loving what I've been seeing from that side of the football. And flip it over to the other side, I feel like Oklahoma is the inverse. Like, they are getting somewhat worse defensively. You look at the last couple of games, Ole Miss, 431 yards they gave up against that offense. Tennessee, they gave up 456 yards against that offense. And yes, Alabama has some issues running the football, but I don't think you have to score a bunch of points in order to win this game. So I'm with you, Emac. Like, I get it. Like, at some point, yes, it is going to bite Alabama in the ass because they cannot run the football. I just don't believe it's this week because I don't think Oklahoma's offense is good enough. And I think Ty Simpson in the passing game will be good enough to at least get points like they did last week versus LSU. And I thought, honestly, too, like, so I went back and I rewatched the game. I did my Ty Simpson breakdown, so make sure you go on our channel and watch it because I thought LSU did a really good job of essentially just bringing the heat, bringing a variety of blitzes, making Ty uncomfortable, and obviously making them very one dimensional. And I thought it was one of his worst games of the season. It was still a pretty good game, but he missed a lot of throws. He missed a lot of reads, just simple reads he was not making. Can Oklahoma make him as uncomfortable as he was a week ago? I'm banking on no. Watching Ty enough this season, I think he's too good, too smart, too talented to be able to go back and watch the mistakes that he made versus LSU and make those back-to-back weeks. I think you will get a better Ty Simpson this week, and I think that is plenty enough to create this separation, which I think Alabama covers the spread and wins pretty big here.
What does that look like? Is that blitz recognition? Like, when you say
Yeah,
he's gonna
I
get
think it's
better.
getting the ball out. I mean, there were multiple times where guys they're bringing pressure, and his check down is wide open, and he's not getting to the check down. It's just understanding, like, yes, like we can create big explosive plays because we have fast elite receivers on the outside, but sometimes it's just as simple as like perfect example, they had a sail concept. So they have a guy in the flat, they got a deep out route, they bring pressure, no one's on the flat defender. And he doesn't throw it to him. Instead, he tries to come back to a big dagger route from the other side, and he's a very good dagger thrower, and the ball's just out of reach of Ryan Williams. But it's like you shouldn't even had to get to that. Just throw the flat route, and you probably would have got the first down. Then there's a couple of ones. There's a big angle route. The guy's open. He overthrows him. Like they just plays like that where you see him routinely make that he just wasn't making. He made some incredible plays. Don't get me wrong, like really, really good plays, but just some things that we think are somewhat routine for him, he wasn't hitting.
Mentally, why do you do that as a quarterback? Like, you know the offense, you're an experienced guy. Why, I guess,
We have off
what
days.
causes you to just wanna go big boy route when you know, like, it ain't there? What makes you wanna hold on? Is it just confidence? Just like, "I can throw this. I can get that down
I
there."
think sometimes it's seeing it too, like I the sail route, for example. I went back and I looked at it from both views, the high end zone and the all 22. The high end zone, it was a little bit of a nasty pocket, and I'm playing Monday morning quarterback here, so I'm like, "Hey, man, he's open, get it to him." But, like, I think about, like, okay, if I'm in his shoes, it's a nasty pocket, like, could I fully see it with the pressure? Am I 100% sure he was that open? I had to maybe move, so there's so many different variables that go into why didn't he throw it, because if it was a simple as on the chalkboard or I got the clicker, yeah, he's gonna throw that all day of the week. But maybe his image of the defense and what's going on was just a little bit skewed at that moment. So like I said, I think he goes back and watches and say, okay, if I would have moved a little bit this way, bam, easy completion. So I think like I said, I think it was a good game. It wasn't up to his standard. I think he will play to his standard this week. And
Yeah,
don't forget, they're
yeah,
coming off
I'm
a bye
as
week
is.
too. They're coming off
Yeah.
2 weeks. You got a little bit of that rust knocked off a week ago against LSU.
This is a bit of a, sidebar, but I've seen so much, for Mendoza to be the number 1 pick, and I think he's good. I don't think he's as good as Ty, though. Where are you kinda in that race, just quickly before we move on?
Ooh, they're very similar, honestly. Great throwers, good athletes. Maybe Ty's a little bit better of an athlete. I don't know, man. I think
It's
that I
weird
would
too
think either
because
I think they're pretty
Mendoza has
close.
more of a
I think
body
they're
of work,
both
like,
one
he's
I think they're
played
1
more.
and 2. One way or the other,
Yeah,
they're 1 and 2 right now.
we'll see. I
Yeah,
like Ty better. I think Ty's
yeah,
a
I like
heck of
Tyler.
a player. Mendoza's good
So,
too.
like, really, like, honestly, if Oklahoma's gonna win, Mateer has to be Superman, and I don't think that can happen against this defense on the road.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bama rolls, double digits. I don't know about when you say roll, what do you mean by roll? I think they win by
Double
10.
digits. I mean, you have a ranked on ranked game. If you win by double digits, I consider that a pretty
Big
good
game.
win.
Yeah. All right, we both think they cover. I think that's good.
All right, let's get to your game this weekend, the game you will be at. The Golden Domers, as you like to refer to them, Notre Dame on the road against Pitt. I went and watched Pitt's quarterback. So just to let you know, I did my homework here because you've been telling me
Wow.
all for like
Hey,
the past 3 weeks.
I'm
Go
excited
watch.
to
You're gonna
hear
say,
about it.
go watch. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but you're like, go watch
Heinschel, Mason Heinschel.
Heinschel. Heinschel.
Pretty good.
Mason
No, you got it.
Heinschel.
Pretty good.
I like
Yes.
him, man. I like him.
Good.
And this is before I looked at any stats. So this is my assessment. He's accurate, very decisive with the football. But my issue is, and this, like I said, before I looked at the stats, I think his offensive line is bad. And I look at it and they've given up 26 sacks this season. So I'm like, the dude feels like he's throwing with people in his face left and right. And that's just me
Right.
watching like 1.5 football games.
I know. It's brutal. It's
That gives
brutal.
me a
And
little
that's
bit
been an issue.
that makes me more impressed with him, but very
Right?
scared this weekend against Notre Dame.
Sure, sure, as you should. This is gonna be a fun game. I mean, I think it's super exciting. I think the line is a little disrespectful. Um, I just think when you look at who Notre Dame has played, I mean, I get they have better stars and they've recruited well and this and that, but I don't know. Who have you played? The
They beat
same amount
USC
of
is pretty
people.
good.
Are they though? Are
Yes,
they?
they are.
We don't know. We
Yes,
don't know.
what do you mean you won't know? They are.
And they beat them. Good job. You won the game. So excited to see this. And I think the biggest thing for me is the Notre Dame, offensive running attack. Two of the best running backs in the entire country, Price and Love, the explosive nature that they have, that literally can score from anywhere on the field, 99 to 1 yard, anywhere in between. They can take off, get into that end zone, very dynamic as receivers as well. Pittsburgh's defense is the best in the conference at stopping the run. They have two of the greatest linebackers I've ever seen, and Biles and Lewis there that are going to be back, are fully healthy, and they send it. I mean, they blitz all the time. They play quarters behind it. They play man behind it. They do a great job of disguising, what they want to do, and that can cause issues, for quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of juice in this game. It's sold out. Game day's there. The huddle's there. It's a big game. There's a big time environment. Both these quarterbacks, first year starters, freshmen, redshirt freshmen, who makes the least mistakes, who can control the game, just be a manager and let's see what happens. I don't think Heinzel has that um, opportunity. I think he has to be a little bit more Superman. Carr can. With the weapons he has, I think Carr can be that.
I love CJ Carr. Everyone who watches us knows how much I've since that A&M game early on this season, like, this dude's got it. And he's just, he's had some moments, don't get me wrong, but he's a freshman quarterback. So, there's going to be games where it just doesn't click. Pittsburgh's hoping that this is that game where the environment, the feeling, but the problem is he's already played in some big time games, from the first game of the year against Miami to against A&M to against USC. And regardless of what you think about USC's defense, it's still hey, we're getting ready for a big time matchup. And you and I both know when you play in these games, there's a little bit different feel during the week of practice. There's a little bit different feel of the week going on the road, traveling. Obviously knowing that game day's there. Like, I mean, you and I both had games where we had game day on our home campus, and we know it's a different feel and excitement heading into the game. Well, guess what? He's already lived and been through that through some of these games he's played this year. So I don't think the moment is going to be obviously too big for him. You said it. They got playmakers on the outside. They're a very balanced offense. And I'm a Notre Dame believer, and I'll leave it at that. I like Pitt. I like their quarterback. I can say the same thing, if not even worse, about who they've really played this season. They've benefited from a very lackluster schedule, and then you look forward and you're like, yeah, you got 7 wins. You're 7-2. They may lose the next 3 games to be a 7-5 team. Because they got who they got. They got Miami left, obviously Notre Dame, and
And
then I
Georgia
think
Tech.
and Georgia Tech.
It's a brutal finish.
Brutal finish. So they have
Yeah.
benefited from you got the easy end of it early. Now you're really going to ramp up towards the end. So they're really going to be challenged. So I like Notre Dame. What's the number again?
11.5. Big number.
I think Pitt at home, the environment, the excitement, all the juice. I think they'll keep it within 10. So I'll go Pitt to cover, but I think Notre Dame wins.
That's probably a safe bet. Aaron Donald getting honored. I don't know if it's his Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame, jersey retired, something. Maybe he can play a little bit, get him a jersey, get him back in there. COVID year. But I think you're right. I think Notre Dame does win this game. But can they make it interesting? And can they slow down the run? That'll be the biggest thing. And the ball bounces weird ways. You never know.
100%.
Notre Dame might show the reason why they're good.
We had 3 more games. We're gonna give a couple comments about each of these. And then we'll move on to after this, we'll do our reaction to the college football playoff rankings, number 2. All right, Iowa USC. Iowa, just a tough loss a week ago. Really thought, like, man, move the ball down the field. Gronowski, back-to-back 130-plus yard games. That's a big-time stat for an Iowa quarterback. Making some big-time plays, and then Oregon just with the dagger at the end of the field goal to win it. But Iowa's a team that has showed us that, hey, if you're a good passing attack, you've played Iowa defense, and it's not going to work. Just plain and simple. Indiana, only 233 yards passing. Oregon, 112. It was rainy. It was nasty, so that's part of it. They did rush for 5 million yards against Iowa's defense, so that's something to kind of take into account of just how physical they were able to be in that game. But this is a great offense, or excuse me, a great defense. Difference is they're on the road compared to those other 2 games where they were at home. So does that defense truly travel the same way that in which they played against Oregon and Indiana? We'll have to wait and see about that. But man, it's such a gut-wrenching loss a week ago. Like, now you got to go on the road against USC in that offense. Do we think Iowa's defense can replicate what they did a week ago and what they did against Indiana now against Jaden Mayava and this USC offense?
Yeah, and is USC going to take a page out of that game and just run the ball a ton? I mean, they've ran the ball very well this year. You've got 2 guys over 550. You've got 3 guys over 250. A bunch of running touchdowns. Mayava has shown that he can score. Running the football. How much do they adjust? That's always something I'm so fascinated in when these coordinators or offensive minded guys, when they play a defense that wants to dictate one side of the ball, but also maybe not as great, stopping the other, do they shift a little bit? And do they kind of force the issue there? I would say do that because it shortens the game. It kind of takes the ball away from them. Not that you're terrified of Iowa's offense at all, but that's what I think. If I was USC, I would try to do. I would force the issue running it, see how we stack up, see if we can control the game.
Yeah, and I think Maeva is just he's had a couple moments this year, but overall he's an excellent quarterback playing at a high level, elite playmakers. You're at home, I think very balanced. I'm just interested to see flipping over the other side because I think USC is going to be able to score some points. I don't think they're going to be able to score at the clip that we're used to seeing, just because, like I said, Iowa's they've shown that they can stop the pass. But can USC be physical? That it will continue to be the question. We've had moments this year. Go back to the Michigan game,
Michigan.
even though Michigan's top running back gets hurt. But regardless, like we've seen that they can at least for a one game season or one game moment be physical at the lines of scrimmage and be a little bit more physical in defense. So this is another litmus test for them of if you're going to be a playoff team, because USC is going to be in the conversation, this would be a monster win in their pursuit of actually being there in the playoffs. And obviously, they lose, then their playoff hopes are done. Can you play physical on defense? Can you essentially keep Iowa what they are? They're not a very good offense, but they can control the football. They can run it at times. Gronowski's had moments of being successful throwing the football. Obviously, he's a good runner as well. But can you get them off the field? Can you own the time of possession? Because if USC can own the time of possession or at least keep it 50%, I think they win this football game. But if Iowa's running it and they're getting five-minute possessions and even kicking field goals, but they shorten the game, they limit USC's ability to be on offense, and they allow Iowa's defense to stay rested, I think that's a recipe for Iowa possibly winning this football game. But I'll still bank at USC at home to be able to muster up enough to win this football game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think they get it done. And it's like you said, keep them in that race. 5-1 in the Big Ten, and who knows? Crazy thing happens. When you end this season, and who knows who can do what.
All right, let's get to two SEC or ACC games, excuse me, to finish this thing off.
Thank you, soon.
Clemson at Louisville and then Virginia at Duke. Two monster losses last week for the ACC in Louisville and Virginia and their losses, and Duke too. Duke losing to UConn. Clemson of the four, the only one to win last week. Wow, didn't know if we'd be saying that this year. Does Clemson? We'll start with the first one first. Quick comments on both of these. Does Clemson bring in some juice from a week ago and their win and kind of keep the ball rolling, man? Like all it takes it's a talented roster. Like, was that the game that kind of pushed them forward and finishes strong?
Yeah, Cade Klubnik's been playing really good, man, since October 1. I mean, he's a totally different guy. You look at his stats, you look at his, QBR, his touchdown to interception ratio, and I kind of did some extra digging on that. I'm like, okay, has he just played BS teams? He's played teams in the top 10 in pass defense, team in the 30 in the pass defense. So it's a mixed, bag there of what he's faced, and he's done really well. This Louisville team just, man, looked like they fell off a cliff last week. I mean, just totally incompetent, can't move the ball at the quarterback position. Miller Moss has sadly just regressed. A team that I thought could take some steps, they have not. And maybe we didn't account for how much of a factor their best player in Isaac Brown being out really had. And I think that's a really big deal going into this game because that's kind of their superpower. That's where Clemson got housed by them last year in Clemson. So now on the road, they have revenge on their mind. Louisville has, trying to stay relevant on their mind. Call me a homer, whatever. 2 weeks ago, I would not have said this. Right now, I think Clemson wins this game.
Well,
It just
I'm not
feels like
concerned with
that's what it
Clemson's
is.
offense because the offense has been fine lately. It's
Right.
been the defense all year. I mean, the plans
Yeah.
are like even the past 3 weeks, like yeah, Clemson's going, but you give up 35 points to SMU, you give up 46 points to Duke. I mean, it's been a defensive issue more than an offensive issue for Clemson this year. So can the defense step up? And like I said, it's hard to get away from how much more physical Louisville was a year ago in this game. And I think for Clemson, this is a man up moment. You were embarrassed a year ago. You've been embarrassed this season. Can we kind of take the momentum from a week ago and then finish this season strong and get to what would it be? 7 wins, 7-5? Sounds a hell of a lot better than 6-6.
Certainly does. Certainly does. And who knows what you can do in the bowl game. So give me the Tigers. Now, this next game, Duke, Virginia, this, Aaron, is the start or finish of my doomsday ACC scenario here. If Duke wins, the scenario's in full speed ahead. It doesn't look good. I am terrified, to say the least. But if they don't, if Virginia handles business, everything's good. It'll all work itself out. Chandler Morris hurt. I don't know how much he's practiced this week. I don't know if he's going to be available. Obviously, UVA, a very different team. Duke's offense is fantastic. It's very similar to what you said about Clemson. They've had a good offense, can score on anybody. It's been the defense, which I thought was going to be one of the best in
I
the
know,
conference,
shocking.
has struggled. It's really weird.
Yeah, I've been shocked by how bad the defense has been this year. I mean, Mensah has been money well spent. I mean, he's been terrific, one of the premier passers in college football. So, yeah, I think it all depends on the health of at Virginia there, and their quarterback Morris. Obviously, two very different teams from when he's playing and when he's not. So, I'll lean on Duke regardless here. I think Duke wins this game, and maybe just because I want to see chaos happen
That's what you
in
want.
the ACC and want to see you start losing your beard hair, not just your hair on top of your head.
Oh, no.
So
Hey, if that happens, it's
give
a
me
wrap. It's over.
the Blue Devils and Mensa to create some chaos in the ACC.
No thanks. I hope they lose by 90. That's what I hope.
Uh,
Let's go Who's, baby. Big Virginia fan.
all right, let's go. More craziness in the ACC, man, and just in general in college football. So well, that's it for us. We appreciate y'all listening to the Mac and Murray show. Make sure you go check out the rest of our content from this week. We did essentially our recap for the college football playoffs, gave our thoughts about the new teams in the playoffs after their second week of voting, also some QB breakdowns and other content as well. We were going to be speaking with Brooks Austin. That will be coming out on Wednesday. The film guy does a great job of helping us dive deeper into a lot of these big time matchups and also topics surrounding college football this season. So have a great week. Go check us out, and we will talk to y'all soon. See ya.
Okay.